Where the heck is Genshin Impact on Nintendo Switch? Let's get into it. As you know, Genshin Impact has been a huge hit ever since it launched on PS4, mobile, and PC in September of 2020. It has garnered over 50 million players and been a massive hit for publisher and developer miHoYo. But here's what's strange. In January of 2020, yes, the same year the game came out, actually 8 months before it came out, miHoYo announced Genshin Impact for Nintendo Switch. The trailer is still up. You can go find it. Simply search Genshin Impact Switch trailer and you will see the game was officially announced for Switch in January of 2020. But where the heck is it? Like I said, Genshin Impact has been huge ever since it launched, so you would think that miHoYo would want to launch one of the most successful ongoing games right now on one of the most popular gaming platforms right now. Nintendo Switch just recently surpassed Game Boy and PlayStation 4 to become the third best-selling console of all time. So I'm not a genius or anything, clearly, but I think it's pretty obvious that Genshin Impact would do insane numbers on Nintendo Switch. You might be wondering how I know this. Well, I personally used to make Genshin Impact Switch release date rumors update videos, and guess what? Those videos always did crazy numbers. People are yearning for Genshin Impact on Nintendo Switch, and miHoYo is just being extremely quiet. But today, I wanted to run down everything that we know right now about this version of the game. Now let's really get into it. One quick thing to point out is that miHoYo still lists Nintendo Switch as a platform for Genshin Impact on a lot of its YouTube videos in the description. Now, it's mostly official channels from other regions, so if you go and find like the Japanese version or the Chinese version of the miHoYo page, then you'll see Nintendo Switch in the description. But unfortunately, miHoYo has been incredibly tight-lipped about the Switch version. The latest update I could find is from May 2022, where they gave this statement. The Switch version of Genshin Impact is still in development, and we will release more information as we progress further along. And that's it, unfortunately. That's actually all they've said. They might have said that again since this, but that's all they've continued to say, is that it's still happening, it's coming, but where is it? The game was announced in January of 2020, 8 months before it came out, and it's still not here. As I mentioned before, I was personally reporting on this. I actually spoke to miHoYo through email, and they just said the exact same thing, the exact same PR statement. It's still happening, it's still coming. Are they trying to torture Switch fans? Maybe. Because remember this, the PlayStation 5 version of Genshin Impact was announced way after the Switch version, and it's already going on 2 years of being out. It released April of 2021. So what gives? Where's the Switch version? A lot of people are saying it's probably because the Switch isn't powerful enough, but I don't know. Genshin Impact, while it's a really pretty game, it runs on a lot of lower-end phones, and let's face it, it's not aiming for realism with its graphics. It's more of a stylized, cel-shaded art direction that's really pleasing to the eye, but I wouldn't go as far as to say it couldn't run on Nintendo Switch. I think the game clearly could. And hell, you can already find it running on 5-year-old phones or really low-end PCs just fine. So like I was saying, the PS5 version got announced and released just like that, like in an instant. So what gives? I have one theory. We know that PlayStation loves doing exclusivity deals with third-party developers. We've seen it plenty of times. You get exclusive content in Hogwarts and Call of Duty. You get Final Fantasy 16 completely as an exclusive, a third-party game that would have otherwise launched on Xbox and PC day one. But it's not, because Sony loves doing these deals. So what if, and this is purely speculation, what if PlayStation actually has a deal in line with miHoYo to keep the game as a console exclusive? Because as you can see, it's also not on Xbox. Now let's not forget, the Switch is technically a portable handheld device and a home console, but I mean, if PlayStation has a deal in line to keep Genshin Impact as a console exclusive, I think that would exclude Switch and Xbox. And let's face it, it doesn't make any sense in 2023 for a third-party developer to keep their online game off of other platforms. You want as big of player base as possible. It's what keeps your game alive. And miHoYo specifically has done a great job with catering to its fans, keeping all the players satiated. So you would think that they would want to have as many people on as many platforms as possible. Now sure, PC, phone, and PlayStation could be enough. Maybe they're not looking into other areas, maybe they're just simply going really slow with the Switch port, but something just seems a little off. This game is a massive hit, Sony loves doing exclusivity deals, and recently Sony has shown that one of their big initiatives lately is online service games. We know that they're going in that direction. They apparently want to launch 10 service games before 2027. So I'm not saying it's true, but I wouldn't be surprised if PlayStation has some type of exclusivity deal in order to keep the game off of other platforms aside from PC and mobile. Because it just doesn't add up for me. I don't see how this game could not run on Switch. I don't see why MiHoYo wouldn't want it on the biggest platform available right now that millions of people play on. It's just really weird. But hey, soon we might find out about all the deals that Sony currently has going because of the big Activision Blizzard thing with Xbox. Sony's trying to block it, but now they're going to have to give a bunch of documents and show all the exclusivity deals that they've made, and I think since 2019, so MiHoYo could be in there. We might see something about that. And like I said, purely speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on this whole Genshin Impact situation. I find it really bizarre, really strange. The game was announced for Switch in January of 2020, and they've just repeated the same PR statement over and over. We're still working on it, it's coming, but no information at all, not even a release window, which is really surprising. I thought for sure the game was going to be out in like 2021, and it never happened. And it's just at this point, I mean, I don't even know. Now players themselves have like gotten Android emulators running on Switch and they're playing Genshin Impact on their Switch that way, or they're remote playing it from their PS5 by jailbreaking their Switch, which is just hilarious. And you might be wondering, why don't you just go play Genshin Impact on PlayStation 5 or on PC or on your phone? And I definitely could, but early on when I started doing those Genshin Impact videos, I made a pact to myself that I wouldn't really play much of the game until it came to Switch, because it really does interest me. This is my style of game. I'm not really big into service games, but I think it looks beautiful, the gameplay's fun. I did play a little bit on PlayStation 4, and I just feel like, you know what, I'm going to dedicate myself to covering the game as much as I can when it comes to the Switch version, and I'll finally delve in and then maybe give my impressions, my review of the game when it's finally available on Switch, if it ever comes. There is that slight chance that it does just straight up get canceled, but I don't really see that happening. I don't know what's taking them so long. It's just like I said, just so weird. And it's also not just for me. A lot of people just stay dedicated to Switch. I find it strange being a multi-platform gamer, but a lot of people only want to play on their Switch, so I'm going to keep on making videos if we hear anything about it. So yeah, if you made it this far, thanks a lot for watching. Sorry there's not much good news about the Switch version. The only good news is that apparently it's still happening, and that's all we've heard now for years, but hey, it's something, so fingers crossed that it'll get announced in the near future, but I wouldn't have your hopes up too high anymore because at this point, I have no idea what's going on with this game. But I'll be sure to make more update videos in the future. If we even hear one little inkling about this game that's still happening, I'll just start doing update videos again here at Destructoid, where I now make videos. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up, and if you didn't, hit that thumbs down. And if you want to hear more of my thoughts, please go check out our Nintendo podcast. It's called Spot Dodge. It's available on this channel live every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central Time, or on all podcast services afterwards. Thanks a lot if you made it this far. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.